What does the future hold for society? In what kind of world do we wish to live? And if we could redesign the way we live, what would it be like? Can the stresses of today be eliminated? Can cities be designed free of traffic problems, pollution, crime, and poverty? Will hunger and disease be things of the past? Sound impossible? When you really start asking these questions and looking for answers with an open mind, you may come to realize it's a lot more possible than you ever imagined. But when governments are self-serving, corporations have turned greedy and neglect the environment, and religion has splintered into countless sects, where do you look? That's the real question, and it deserves a real answer. For more than 60 years, Jacques Fresco has been seeking answers to many of today's problems. And for the past 20 years, his associate Roxanne Meadows has been working with him. He's well aware of the issues that continue to threaten our way of life. He has found that most of these problems have common causes. If we deal with the sources, then the problems associated with them will begin to disappear. The two of them built a 25-acre research and design center known as the Venus Project, which is located in Venus, Florida. The Venus Project represents a bold new direction for humanity and explores alternatives and possibilities to improve our way of life. The actual buildings and conference center, along with the models, illustrations, blueprint posters, and video presentation, are the first steps that have been completed to help one see, feel, and touch the future. Over several years, they designed and erected the buildings and put in landscaping, ponds, and lakes. Here, technology and the environment coexist in harmony. They built models of their proposed cities, filmed their videos, and produced their books about the future. Almost everything has been called into question, from our dominant values to our crime-ridden, congested cities, from education to the contaminated water we drink and the air we breathe.
Many people today attempt to point out the shortcomings and abuses of our social system, but rarely offer positive approaches. What you are about to see is just such an alternative vision of what the future could be if we use the methods of science with human concern. It protects the environment and provides people with all of the necessity that clean technology can provide. In order to accomplish this, the earth and its resources must be declared the common heritage of all people, and all of the artificial boundaries that separate people must give way to a resource-based economy, where all goods and services are made available without money, barter, or any means of exchange.
The Venus Project offers an optimistic view of humanity's ability to scale new heights for today and tomorrow. This video is about that vision. It presents more appropriate ways of dealing with the problems of today: crime, housing, hunger, unemployment, war, environmental neglect, and human relations, to name just a few.
At some point, there has to be new thinking, and that's where Dr. Fresco and the Venus Project and his vision for the future comes in. If I had any criticism of it, it would be that it might be, so far, a little bit on the idealistic side. But long term, I don't think it is. The changes that have come about in humanity, thinking just within my generation, is remarkable. There was a time in this country and elsewhere across the world where communism was the thing of the future. And people had great hopes and expectations of the Soviet Union, and they have fallen. And we can be next. And we will be next somewhere along the way, unless there are radical changes in the thinking.
There's no place to hide today. You cannot escape from human stupidity. War, weapons, corruption seems to be prevalent all over the world. Merely talking about idealism and not designing an approach does not alleviate the problem.
Join us on this video journey, and you might just walk away with a few new ideas of your own. We must learn how to listen to new ideas with honesty and objectivity, no matter how different they may sound. Only then will we be able to understand the problems that confront us and deal with them in a more enlightened way.
The problems of communication that exist today are not very different from those of the past. When we hear new ideas, we usually don't know how to go about asking questions. We tend to say, well, it'll never fly if it doesn't have any wings, rather than, how do you propose to lift off the ground without wings? When someone shows you a new kind of house, you say, well, I don't know that I'd want to live in that kind of house, rather than saying, what are the advantages of this new building? You see, we don't ask those questions. And communication, or general semantics, would help a great deal.
Therefore, when questions are formulated precisely, we can expect answers that are clear and to the point. Through the appropriate use of language, we can establish a better understanding between people. Another major problem in our culture is the displacement of people by automation and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the ability of machines to reproduce the human attributes, such as decision-making, self-correction, and more.
If we continue to automate production and get rid of more and more people, pretty soon, if you automate typing and you automate most human jobs, then the majority of Americans and the majority of people all over the world will not have the purchasing power to buy products.
For the last 20 years, 43 million jobs have already been lost through automation and other labor-saving devices. Today, job security is a myth. There's no such thing as a lifetime job anymore. Expert systems and artificial intelligence that are being perfected today will eventually replace many professionals, engineers, doctors, and lawyers, to name just a few.
Today, most people aren't prepared intellectually or emotionally as to what's going to happen in the culture in the future and what's even happening today, how fast technology is replacing people.
Yes, artificial intelligence will eventually replace doctors, lawyers, engineers, intellect, and be capable of making decisions that humans never dreamed possible by machine.